inspire Africa and the world. Proudly sharing
the African perspective.
Africa Update on Channel Africa.
The Angolan Liberation Day, observed annually on the 4th of February, commemorates the start of the armed struggle against Portuguese colonial rule in 1961. This year marks the 65th anniversary of the event, with the central event taking place in the province of Cabinda in the north of the country. The ceremony will be led by the Minister of State and head of the military house of the President of the Republic, Francesco Pereira Furtado. But to unpack the day for us, we are joined on the line by an Angolan academic and political analyst, Faustino Henrique. Faustino, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on Africa Update.
Good morning. Good morning, Lou, and good morning, all the Channel Africa audience.
Now, Faustino, all the best for these celebrations, to start off with. Now, what events led to Angola's liberation from Portuguese colonial rule, and why is it seen as the turning point in Angola's history?
Well, first and foremost, it is necessary to say that this is not the Liberation Day itself, but the 4th February is the start of the armed struggle against the colonialism in Angola. This is the start of the armed struggle, not the Liberation Day itself. And it's a meaningful date because most of the events that followed, even the independence, started or gained a turning point from the 4th February of 1961. So that's why it's a very important date in Angolan history.
Okay. And what role did, neighboring African countries play in Angola's fight for independence?
Played a meaningful role because, the independence of Angola gained force with the independence of neighboring countries like DRC in June of 1960, and also the Republic of Congo in the same date, even Zambia maybe in 1960 or 1963 or 4. So all those countries around Angola that gained the independence contributed for the armed struggle in Angola, because, as you know, most of the Angolan nationalists they found. Hello.
Yes, we're here, Faustino. I'm here. We're listening to you.
Okay. As I said, the neighboring country played a good role because most of the Angolan nationalists found exile, found a safe havens for the fighting from DRC, Congo, and Zambia. So the neighboring countries, DRC, Congo, and Zambia, played a very, very special role because the Angolan nationalist movement, the MPLA, even UNITA and FNLA, they began the struggle. They started most of the struggle from the neighboring countries. So they played a good and very important role in the armed struggle in Angola.
And in what ways is the Liberation Day remembered across different generations?
This date is remembered by different generations in different ways. The younger generations that do not know exactly what the meaning of this date, because history in Angola is not well lectured, because there are different versions of the Angolan armed struggle. Because even this date, the 4th February, is normally attributed to one of the three main nationalist movement. Angola used to have three national movements. So those three national movements, the MPLA that proclaimed the independence, UNITA and FNLA, they sometimes they argue that this date does not reflect the the start of the armed struggle. For instance, the first Angolan nationalist movement, the FNLA, they say that the most important date when it comes to the armed struggle is the March 15. So this is the date of FNLA, but is also a celebration date in Angola. It's not a holiday, but a celebration date that the FNLA, the national movement founded by Alden Roberto, they say the most important date is March 15. But for the ruling party, MPLA, the 4th February is in fact a date related with the armed struggle. So the different generations in Angola celebrate this date with different ways, different moods. Some give the importance to this date. Some say that this date does not reflect the real starting date of the armed struggle. So I think that the history must be well lectured to the younger generation. The teacher, the scholar, the education system in Angola must be reformed to really give to the younger generations the real insights about what happened during the years 40, 50, and 60s and so on.
Now let's talk about culture, music, and art. How are they used to commemorate this day?
Well, in Angolan culture, this date is well represented because, as I say, this date is celebrated mostly by the ruling party and the some sectors of the Angolan society. So the 4th February is well represented in the culture, in the music. You know, after the independence in 1975. Because the Angolan, the ruling party in Angola chose it to be a Marxist system in Angola. So propaganda and the other propaganda and doctrines that the MPLA used to put in Angolan society, it was reflected this kind of thing. So the 1st February is present in the culture, in the music, and sometimes in theaters, and the other manifestation, cultural manifestation. So there is music, theater, and the other cultural manifestation. Even during Carnival, because at this date in February we will also have Carnival festival. So the 4th February is all present in this kind of celebrations.
And just in wrapping up, let's talk about some of the challenges that you touched on it earlier, but I just wanted to go a little deeper into some of the challenges that Angola faced immediately after liberation.
Well, the great challenges that the Angolan faced after liberation or after the independence in 1975, of course, it was the education, because the level of the illiteracy was very high. At the time of the independence in 1975, almost 80% of the population was illiterate, and most of the Portuguese colonialist authorities left the country, and Angola was left at no professionals with a high rate of illiteracy, and so the challenge was very, very high. And until now, we continue to face great problems when it comes to education, when it comes to health care, when it comes to infrastructure, this kind of challenge continue until today, and that's why it's important for the Angolan government to continue to reform, to do reforms, to invest in education, to invest in the infrastructure. Those are the challenges that we face today. Even with the unemployment is also a challenge during these days. So those are the challenges that we facing today as society and state.
Well, Faustino, thank you so much for joining us on Africa Update. We'll leave it there for today. That was Angolan academic and political analyst Faustino Henrique joining us on the line. It is 12:30 Central African time, and our news headlines up next.
SABC News.